If someone can make you angry with a single word, they are your master.
If a temporary setback can shatter your resolve and send you into a spiral of despair, you are not the captain of your soul.
You are merely a leaf blowing in the wind of circumstance.
Most people spend their entire lives reacting. They react to the news. They react to the traffic. They react to a perceived insult from a stranger. And they react to the internal whispers of their own insecurities.
They are puppets, and the world holds all the strings.
But there is a group of individuals who have cut those strings. They possess what I call the cold mind.
This is not about being a robot or lacking empathy. It is about the absolute sovereignty of the self. It is the ability to stand in the middle of a burning building and calculate the exit strategy while others are busy screaming at the flames.
Listen closely, because the information I am about to share will separate you from the masses who are ruled by their whims.
Stay until the very end of this message, because I will reveal the one psychological exercise that will make you practically immune to emotional manipulation.
A secret used by the elite to maintain dominance in the most high-pressure environments on this planet.
The world is a chaotic theater of stimuli. Every day, thousands of things happen that are designed to trigger a response from you. Your phone buzzes with a notification that triggers anxiety. A coworker makes a passive-aggressive comment that triggers defensiveness. A bill arrives that triggers fear. Most people live in a state of constant low-level emotional vibration. They are always on the edge of a reaction.
This is the mark of the amateur, the professional, the master, the leader. They move with a different frequency. They have developed a buffer between the stimulus and the response. In that buffer lies their power.
Think of a massive ocean. When a pebble is thrown into a small puddle, the puddle is disrupted entirely. The water splashes, the mud rises, and the clarity is lost for a long time.
But when you throw a massive boulder into the middle of the Pacific Ocean, the ocean barely notices.
It swallows the boulder, ripples for a fraction of a second, and returns to its vast, unshakable stillness. The successful person is the ocean. The average person is the puddle.
Why do the world's most successful people never react emotionally? Because they understand the currency of energy. Every time you react emotionally to something that does not serve your ultimate vision, you are bleeding energy. You are giving away your power to an external source. If a competitor insults your business and you spend the next 3 hours fuming and planning a verbal rebuttal, that competitor has just stolen 3 hours of your creative genius. They have won, not because they are better, but because you were weak enough to be baited.
The cold mind views every interaction through the lens of utility. Is this reaction useful? Will this anger solve the problem?
Will this sadness move the needle toward my goal? If the answer is no, the emotion is discarded. It is treated as noise, and the cold mind only operates on signal. Consider the story of the ancient Stoic masters. They were not men who lacked feelings, but men who mastered them. There is an account of a great general who received news that his son had died in battle while he was planning a crucial military maneuver. Any other man would have collapsed. Any other man would have allowed grief to cloud his judgment, potentially leading thousands of other sons to their deaths. But this general simply nodded and said, "I knew I had fathered a mortal." He did not suppress the grief. He simply refused to let it dictate his immediate actions. He maintained the cold mind.
He understood that the mission required his absolute clarity, and his personal tragedy, however profound, was irrelevant to the strategic necessity of the moment. This is the level of discipline that builds empires. This is the level of detachment that makes a person dangerous to their enemies and a fortress for their allies. You must realize that your emotions are often your greatest liars. They are biological relics designed for a world that no longer exists.
Your fear was useful when a tiger was stalking you in the grass, but it is a hindrance when you are about to step on stage to give a presentation.
Your anger was useful when you had to defend your tribe from a physical raid, but it is a destructive force when you are trying to negotiate a multi-million-dollar contract. The cold mind understands that biology is a baseline, not a destiny. To reach the heights of human achievement, you must learn to override the primitive circuitry of the brain. You must learn to witness your emotions without becoming them. When you feel anger rising, you should observe it as if it were a weather pattern passing over a landscape. There is the anger, you say to yourself, but I am the mountain upon which it rains. The mountain does not move because of the rain. If you are finding value in this exploration of the cold mind and want to continue your journey toward total self-mastery, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. We are building a community of individuals who refuse to be mediocre.
Let us look at the concept of the amygdala hijack. This is a scientific reality.
When you perceive a threat, your amygdala, the emotional center of your brain, takes over, bypassing the prefrontal cortex, which is the seat of logic and reason. In this state, you are literally incapable of making a rational decision. You are operating on instinct, which is almost always the wrong move in a complex, modern environment. The most successful people in the world have trained themselves to recognize the physical signs of a hijack before it happens. They feel the tightening in the chest, the heat in the neck, the quickening of the pulse, and they use those physical cues as a signal to pause. They don't speak, they don't move, they don't send that email. They wait for the chemical storm to pass. They wait until the prefrontal cortex is back online. Only then do they act. This pause is the difference between a legacy-defining victory and a catastrophic failure. Think of a high-stakes surgeon. When a complication arises on the operating table and blood begins to spray, the surgeon cannot afford to be afraid. If they react with panic, the patient dies. They must remain cold. They must see the blood not as a tragedy, but as a technical problem to be solved. They must maintain a steady hand and a clear head. The same applies to a pilot flying through a storm or a CEO facing a sudden market crash. The moment they let emotion in, they lose their edge. The world rewards those who can maintain their composure when everyone else is losing theirs. This is why the cold mind is the ultimate competitive advantage. While your competitors are busy being offended or being anxious or being overly excited, you are moving with the cold, calculated precision of a chess master. There is a certain dignity in silence. In a world that cannot stop talking, the person who can remain silent and observant is the most powerful person in the room. When you react emotionally, you reveal your cards. You show the world exactly where your buttons are. You give people a roadmap on how to manipulate you. But when you remain cold, when you remain unreadable, you become an enigma. People don't know what you're thinking, and that uncertainty creates a natural authority. It forces others to tread carefully. It forces them to respect you. Think about the most influential people you have ever met. They likely didn't shout the loudest. They were the ones who sat back, listened, and responded with a calm that was almost unsettling. That is the power of the cold mind. It is the power of the void. To develop this, you must practice the art of voluntary discomfort. You must put yourself in situations where your emotions want to take over, and then you must consciously refuse to let them.
This can be as simple as taking a freezing cold shower and forcing yourself to remain still and breathe slowly while every fiber of your being wants to gasp and jump out. It can be as simple as sitting in traffic and choosing to be fascinated by the patterns of the cars rather than frustrated by the delay.
You are training the muscle of detachment. You are teaching your brain that you are the boss, not your impulses. Over time, this discipline transfers to the bigger stages of life. When the stakes are high and the pressure is on, you will find that you have a reservoir of calm that others simply do not possess. The cold mind also requires a ruthless assessment of reality. Most people see the world not as it is, but as they wish it to be, or as they fear it might be. Their emotions color their perception. A person who is insecure will see a simple suggestion from a friend as a biting criticism. A person who is greedy will see a risky gamble as a sure thing. The cold mind strives for the objective truth. It looks at the data, the facts, and the probabilities without the distortion of ego or desire. This allows for a level of strategic planning that is impossible for the emotional person. You can see the traps before they are set. You can see the opportunities while they are still hidden in the chaos. Now, I promised you a psychological exercise to make you immune to emotional manipulation. It is called the third-person perspective. When you are in a high-stress situation, or when someone is trying to provoke you, mentally step out of your body. Imagine you are a camera mounted on the wall, looking down at the scene. See yourself standing there. See the other person talking. When you do this, you instantly create a psychological distance. You are no longer the one being insulting. You are an observer watching a person attempt to insult another person. From this height, the situation looks small. Words seem insignificant. The stakes seem manageable. In this state of observation, the emotional trigger cannot reach you. You are insulated by your own awareness. Practice this every day in small moments, and it will become your greatest shield.
The world belongs to the cold-minded. It belongs to those who can master the inner storm so they can conquer the outer world. History is written by those who were brave enough to be stoic, those who were disciplined enough to be silent, and those who were wise enough to remain calm when the world went mad. You have the capacity for this level of mastery. It is not a gift, it is a choice. It is a choice you must make every single morning when you wake up. Will you be a victim of your emotions today, or will you be their master? Will you react, or will you respond? The choice is yours, and the consequences of that choice will define the entirety of your life. As we conclude this session, I want you to reflect on a recent moment where you lost your cool, where you let an emotion dictate a decision that you later regretted. What would have happened if you had applied the cold mind in that moment? How would the outcome have changed? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I want to see your commitment to this path of mastery. Go forth with a steady heart and a cold mind. The world is waiting for someone who cannot be shaken. Be that person. Thank you for your presence and your focus. Our journey toward the heights continues soon. Until then, stay sovereign.